So how's everybody doing?
Great.
Good.
We're hanging in there, you know. It's a stressful time.
It is very, very stressful time. It is very stressful time, but I'm very, very like surprised how the individual hold it out so far. It's very impressive.
They're amazing. They really are.
very,
They're so resilient.
You know, so many of them we cannot communicate the way we want to communicate. Some of them, they don't understand what's going on, all those kind of things. You know, all the behavior we dealt with, all those kind of things. Now I'm looking at the Arab to see if anybody get restrained anything, and nobody. So it's like, wow, these guys understand as well too. So very impressive.
Yeah, and the staff too, all you guys on the front lines, it's your commitment and your willingness to commit and to show up every single day. It's just remarkable.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi. Sorry.
That's okay. We're gonna get started in about 1 minute.
Okay. Do you want me to mute myself or?
I can mute everyone, and then at the end we'll
Are you gonna shut
we'll
up?
open it up for comments, questions, and any thoughts that you might have or want to share with the team.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I was just getting my son's lunch ready. So.
That's okay.
Great.
We are all in that boat.
Looks like we have a couple more people joining.
Why don't we give it another minute then?
Okay. You'll be able to find.
Hi, Sherry. Oh,
Hi,
I'm
guys.
on. Hey, Sherry Gallant. Hi. Just wanted to say hi. I'm muting again. Oh.
Why am I on this video again?
This is for DSPs, Carrie.
I know, but they're here, but I don't know why I'm on the video.
So
you always see yourself, Carrie, but then when other people are talking, you just see who's talking.
Okay.
I'm not a DSP. I'm in the IPP school. Am I supposed to be here?
Yeah, same.
It's for all staff.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Then I get a little bit of lunch.
There.
all right, Stephanie, whenever you're ready, we're ready for you. Stephanie and Beth.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Elizabeth Gambasini. I'm a clinical supervisor at the Institute of Professional Practice at the Massachusetts branch. And welcome to our presentation on self-care in the workplace for essential staff. I'll be doing the presentation with my colleague, Ms. Stephanie Hanault, who is a board certified behavior analyst. We want to first and foremost recognize our essential staff and acknowledge your hard work and dedication. You are all our true heroes. You show up to work, you show up for our individuals, you show up for our agency, and we could not be more appreciative or proud of all the hard work that you're doing. So thank you so much. Today's objectives for our training will be to define employee burnout, identify common signs and symptoms of employee burnout in residential home care settings, as well as to identify individualized self-care skills and methods to help alleviate symptoms of burnout in residential home care settings. Burnout can be defined as a reaction or a symptom to prolonged or chronic job stress characterized by 3 dimensions: exhaustion, cynicism, and feelings of reduced professional ability. It's important to mention that burnout is closely associated with working in the field of human services in general. And some of you may have experienced moments of burnout prior to the onset of this pandemic and may experience burnout once this pandemic is over. We're going to review the potential causes of burnout, not just in general, but also as it relates to the global pandemic of COVID-19. One of the main causes of staff burnout is feeling unsupported by a supervisor and or the agency that you work for. Also to note is a decreased connection and misalignment between the work and your agency's core values and mission. We all go into this work because we are helpers and we love people and we love giving back and watching other people grow. And we get so much joy out of working with people and seeing them accomplish things and just seeing them, develop as people and develop skills. And one of the key indicators that you may be getting burnt out is when that joy starts to decline, that joy starts to disappear. Because I think that's just such a core piece of who we all are in this field. Employees that work in direct care services with individuals who are vulnerable, like kids or adults with mental illness and or intellectual disabilities, are prone to stress given the demands of being responsible for somebody's well-being. You think about, all the things that we're responsible for. Our essential staff, we're responsible for making sure they're clean, making sure they are safe, that they're fed, that they're clothed, that they are being intellectually stimulated, that they're being safe. So even outside of the pandemic, it's an extraordinarily important and stressful job. As it relates to COVID-19, some of the potential causes of burnout could be the implicit fear of staff becoming infected by COVID-19 or infecting individuals, being infected and bringing it home to your family. Staff may be experiencing financial strains or burdens due to job loss of someone in a family, perhaps lack of resources. Also, to mention the social distancing that needs to continue to happen to flatten the curve, that puts an incredible amount of stress on everybody. You think about the people that are your natural supports. So we're doing this job and it's incredibly stressful. And then on top of that, we have to be engaging in social distancing and keeping our space from the people that we love who kind of, fill our soul to help us do the work that we do. So it's incredibly overwhelming on many fronts. There are some common signs and symptoms of burnout. The first is irritability or change in personality, physical symptoms, emotional exhaustion, alienation from work-related activities, depression, and reduced work performance. Alienation from work-related activities can look like staff viewing their jobs as increasingly stressful and frustrating. So again, the tasks that once, or the tasks or moments that once brought us joy in, the day-to-day with our individuals and the work that we do may become really stressful. Essential staff may grow cynical about working and their working conditions. And they may also emotionally distance themselves and begin to feel numb. And this can look like staff, it may look like their communication with individuals being compromised. It can interfere with the quality of the service delivery, of the care that we're taking care of with our individuals. So it's very important to be mindful of this. Some physical symptoms of burnout can be headaches, stomach aches, intestinal issues, muscle aches, and trouble sleeping. Some of the signs and symptoms, one can be irritability or change in personality. So what we may see with our essential staff, we have so many wonderful staff with lots of different personalities. So we may see someone maybe at their baseline who's very calm and patient. If they're beginning to feel the signs of burnout, they may become more irritable. They may become argumentative. They may be less open to feedback, appear more irritable with coworkers, with staff. And again, this in particular can really interfere with the quality of service for our individuals and also the interactions with our individuals. It can look like emotional exhaustion. So it may look like, DSPs coming to work really tired or becoming emotional or crying at work and lacking the energy to get their work done. It can also lead to reduced performance at work. So it may affect everyday tasks. So tasks that somebody would generally find to be mundane or easy may become very, very difficult to get through or to complete if for someone who's experiencing signs of burnout. Staff may feel negative about job routine tasks. So maybe some of the routine tasks that essential staff really enjoy doing with their individuals become mundane. They become more like a chore rather than something that they used to enjoy. And essential staff can have difficulty concentrating and can lack creativity with programming. One of the major signs and symptoms of burnout can be depression. So by definition, depression can either be feeling sad and reporting feelings of sadness or a loss of interest in pleasurable activities. Other symptoms may include lack of appetite or increased appetite, trouble sleeping or sleeping too much, fatigue, loss of patience or energy, and difficulty thinking and concentrating. Other signs and symptoms can be loneliness, confinement, and boredom. But given the global pandemic, and again, with the social distancing, loneliness, confinement, and boredom can really be something that all of us are experiencing. But it's definitely something to be mindful of if you're experiencing other symptoms of depression. Please take away from this presentation that burnout is unpleasant, but it is reversible. So please, if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, seek out support from your supervisor. Let them know that you're feeling the effects of burnout and that you need resources and that you need assistance. If you don't feel comfortable or safe going to your immediate supervisor, you can look to your natural support system, which could be coworkers, maybe another residential supervisor, someone in senior management. You could even look to the clinical team. You could approach human resources to seek out EAP services, which are some of those EAP services include some short-term counseling services. And there are also many online courses and trainings offered through our agency. And the Mass Clinical Department, we're going to be sending out some weekly tips and strategies related to burnout, reducing burnout, and increasing self-care. It's important to be mindful about symptoms and address them as needed. Your mental and physical health is so important. Please remember that there are no judgments and that burnout is a likely and natural consequence of a pandemic. If you are feeling any of these signs and symptoms, please feel free to go and address them with a supervisor or someone who can provide you with support. It's a likely natural consequence of what everybody is going through right now. I'd like to thank you for your attention, and I'll turn over the remainder of the presentation to Ms. Stephanie.
Good morning, almost afternoon, everyone. I'm going to be talking to you about self-care today. Self-care is the practice of taking on an active role in protecting one's own well-being and happiness, in particular during periods of stress. As we all know, we're all going through a stressful period to some degree right now. A saying that we thought would be helpful for everyone is, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you are not engaging in self-care and filling up your cup, making sure you're feeling good, how are you going to be able to support your family, your friends, and the individuals we're serving? Every staff is an expert in their own self-care. Essential staff need to make sure to take care of themselves using their natural supports so they can be their best self, to be the best for their families and the individuals with whom we're supporting. First, I want to identify some of the unhealthy self-care strategies some of us may be engaging in. There's an increase in isolation, especially during these times of social distancing, an increase in alcohol or substance use, a lack of sleep or an increase in sleep, over or under eating, excessive exposure to media. Social media can have many, many different stories on it. There's posts of families being home, having great time with their kids doing crafts. There's stories about all the tragedies associated with COVID-19. And being exposed to this for a long time or always looking at it can really put those thoughts into our minds of, I'm not good enough, I'm not there for my kids, or, oh my gosh, this is crazy, which is also another unhealthy self-care strategy where people are thinking that the pandemic will never end, this is the normal, I'm never gonna have fun again. Entertaining ongoing negative thoughts like this is a sign for you to realize that maybe you are becoming burnt out and it's time to seek out some help. A couple other unhealthy self-care strategies include increase in smoking. You may be a smoker and you're smoking maybe half a pack a day, and now there's an increase in that baseline. Maybe you're going to a pack a day. And then the final one that we wanted to mention was sedentary behavior. Having a decrease in physical exercise and movement, that's another unhealthy self-care sign that you are experiencing burnout. So your health and well-being. You do not need to be the unemotional pillar of strength. It is okay to be vulnerable at this time. Working in the human service field, we are more likely to put forth the effort to help others before helping ourselves. During this time, where there is an increase in stress and a chance of burnout, it's imperative to take care of ourselves. It's okay to need help and to refrain from judgment. We need to refrain from judgment of ourselves and of others. It is okay, it is normal, and it is natural to be feeling burnt out in these times. We're hoping that you can take from this presentation some tools and suggestions that you can make your own to help you engage in self-care the best that you can for yourself. Because like I said before, you are an expert in yourself. Self-care, self-compassion, and self-kindness are the three cornerstones. They're the most important things that you can do for yourself at this time. You need to not judge yourself, your individuals, or your family. People are going to be feeling anxious. People are going to be feeling burnt out. There's things that you can control, there's things that you can't control. Our biggest advice for you is to look at what you can control and try to control those. That will help ease some of those anxieties and excessive worry. Also, accept it. Accept if you're feeling burnt out. That is huge because we are all in one way or another going to be most likely feeling burnt out during this time. So we're going to move on to a list of some skills that may be able to help you and really lead you into the path of self-care. Self-care strategies. Some self-care strategies can be requesting breaks during your shift, tagging out with a coworker when needed, going for walks, listening to music, meditation, or body scan apps. There's a multitude of those out there right now, and a lot of them are free. Just check out your app store. Go for a drive. Call or FaceTime family and friends. You really don't want to have to emotionally distance yourselves, even though you have to physically distance yourselves. Keep that socialization going. Stretch, drink a glass of water. Remember to pick your own battles. Some things you just need to let go. We're all going through a lot and multitasking and juggling multiple hats right now. Some of us are homeschooling and being parents. Some of us are working at the same time. Some of us have to go to work and then come home and homeschool and be parents and then take care of our families and clean our house and make sure everything's all clean. There's so much on all our minds right now that I think you need to understand and accept that. Pick your battles. Let some of it go. Do not judge yourself for that. And be mindful of your use of technology. Don't always be on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram reading those negative posts because it's not helpful. This by far is not an exhaustive list of self-care strategies. It's just some ideas to start with. Self-care requires practice. Some self-care skills might be new or difficult to start. There's been a lot of research out there that says it takes about 21 days to start a new habit. If you want to get good at a skill, you have to practice it deliberately every day. You need to be cognizant of the fact that you want to develop this skill. And one of the best ways to do that is to start small so you can be successful. So how can we do this? We can add a self-care activity to an existing routine. For example, when I make my coffee in the morning, I will set a timer for 10 minutes to engage in some meditation instead of going on Facebook or social media or checking my emails even. Maybe the first day you're gonna do a minute, the second day you could do 2 minutes, and just slowly increase it until you find that comfort zone. Another self-care method would be scheduling time in the day. Set an alarm on your phone, a reminder. When the clock hits 9, I'm taking a break. When the clock hits 11, I'm taking a break. That's also another example of how you can put in boundaries and limits and control into your schedule. And accountability and social support. It's always better to have a friend or coworker there to help rally you. They're going to encourage and check in on you just like you would do with them. We're all in the human service field and we're in here to help others. So let's build off of that, because if you don't have someone holding you accountable, you can let it go because you're going to have all the other things in your mind that you need to do that you feel are more important than yourself. But really, right now, we need to fill our own cups. The silver lining is burnout is reversible. We will get through this together. We need to try to focus on what we can control and the here and now. We're all going through the same things, but at different levels. And it's hard. And we are here to help. Our call to action to you today is to write down one action you can take. Write it on your phone, put it as a background, write it on a piece of paper. Use accountability. If you're at work, show a coworker, say, I'm gonna do this today, and then do it. You'll feel better doing something for yourself. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, concerns, anything, please email us at MAClinical and stay tuned for our next self-care series segment. I will now open up for questions.
Who's this? We come to all.
Does anyone have any questions for us?
Please feel free to unmute your microphones. We might not hear you. There's also a chat box. Would anyone like to share their experience so far since the shelter in place and anything they're going through they want to talk through?
I guess I'll share. I mean, it's, so I'm from Connecticut and I work in the Connecticut schools. So we just started working from home. I make sure at the end of it's been raining and stuff, but, try to get as much outside time as possible. Vitamin D is always good. I know we can't really go anywhere. So find little projects, to do. I, made like a little garden, something I never did with my son. So, stepping outside the box a little. Been doing a lot of video chat with friends, family. So just kind of keeping in touch.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, Dan.
So yeah, basic, but.
We really want to stress that we feel incredibly fortunate to have such amazing staff across all states and our agency. Again, you guys are showing up. You're showing up for our individuals and showing up for the agency and making sure that, you know, our individuals are being taken care of and kept safe. And it just, again, you guys are our true heroes.
Thank you all for attending. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Email us. It's on the presentation. This will be uploaded to Alti, and we will be sending the slides also, and those shall be uploaded at some point.
All right.
Yes, and stay tuned for some upcoming trainings as well.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Great
Good weekend,
work.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
great one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh wait, I'm still here.